Alright guys, in this video I'm going to explain why I think combining Google Ads and SEO is a good idea and why I've done this for multiple clients and it works really well. So let's say for example that you're only doing Google Ads, right? What will happen is you'll launch the ads and you'll basically get a spike up in leads. So let's say we've got an axis here that's like leads and then over time. What happens is you launch the ads, you get a spike up pretty immediately as to how many leads you get per month. And then what happens is you usually just hover around here. It might increase slightly as you optimize the ads, but basically you get a line that looks like this. And as long as you're spending the same amount of budget that you initially put in, you're capped at this level. You're never going to go, double this amount. Typically, we'll exclude, conversion rate optimization. Let's say you double your conversion rate, whatever. But at some point you will hit a cap, and no matter how much more optimization you do, you're basically not going to increase the amount of leads you get per month from Google Ads. So you're limited by the budget, and that's one of the biggest downsides with Google Ads, along with the fact that if you stop them, they drop off, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But here's the thing, right? So you're running the Google Ads, you're capped at this limit of leads you're getting per month based on your budget. Now, you're just going to stay there forever if you don't change anything. However, if you had started doing SEO, even if it's a couple months into the campaign, right? What happens is this. Your line starts at 0 and you probably won't see much for a while. But as time goes on, it starts increasing like this. And it starts increasing, and then eventually SEO hits the exact same number of leads that the Google Ads was getting, and then it keeps going up. And they'll just keep going up forever, basically, like that. If you keep doing SEO. Like, there's practically no limit to how far that can go, aside from obviously how much search volume you can get in your niche. Eventually, you'll dominate your entire niche, and then you just can't get any more leads. However, that's usually pretty far out there. Like, that doesn't usually happen. There's usually always ways to expand. So basically, what I'm trying to get at here is that if you just run the Google Ads, you're capped at this limit, and you're never going to pass this thing here. However, if you start doing SEO, you might not see a huge increase or any difference in the first couple months. A few months in, typically you start getting 10, 15, 20 leads a month extra that you would not be getting from here, and then eventually the SEO graph outshines the Google Ads graph and it equals it, and then it just keeps going, and then forever you continue increasing how many leads you get. So in reality, what this actually looks like is if we remove this Google Ads line, if you're doing both at once, what actually happens is more like this. So your Google Ads will go, and then as your SEO increases, this line as like an overall line actually goes more like this. Now eventually you'll get to the point where the difference is negligible, because let's say this is 50 leads a month from the Google Ads, and then let's say SEO gets 50 leads a month here as well. So basically your total here would be 100. Now, obviously this graph is not to scale, but here would be 100. If the SEO ends up getting, let's say 200, you'd be getting 250 from the Google Ads in total, because you're still only getting 50 leads from the Google Ads, if that makes sense. So here you're getting 250. The gap between the two closes as you go up the scale, but the point is that the overall line actually does this. And so this is what happens when you combine these two together, as opposed to just doing one of, let's say, just the Google Ads, which, like I said, we'll cap earlier. Now, here's the thing. Here's why this is beneficial to the SEO. If the business is in the early stage of doing any kind of marketing, right, and they don't have a huge budget, the issue you have is that if we draw that initial line here, the Google Ads line, they're not really going to see a significant increase or return on the SEO till maybe about here, where they start getting like, 30% more leads or something. So the issue you have is that this business or you are paying for this entire section of time to see very little result. And so especially for smaller businesses, this can just be way too much for them to handle. Like paying for 6 months, let's say a couple $1,000s a month to pay someone to do the SEO for 6 months and seeing practically zero return until they hit, anywhere from 6 to 12 months is not really practical for most smaller businesses. However, by running the Google Ads, what happens is this whole time you've been getting leads. So this whole time you've been getting like 50 leads a month, and it's actually covering the cost of the ads plus the SEO, which you start seeing the results of 6 to 12 months down the road. So that's why you want to do both. That's the benefit of them. If you just do SEO, you'll see nothing for 6 to 12 months. It'll basically look like this, right? And you will have absolutely nothing until, well, not absolutely nothing, but very little until here, which is usually, the 9-month mark on average. And if you just run Google Ads, you spike up quick, but then you just flatline and you go nowhere from there. And so if you're wanting to grow your business, that's why combining these two work well, because like I showed that graph earlier, when you combine them, what actually happens is, let's just take this one and make this the overall line, just to make a distinction distinction, you spike up and then the line goes up like this. And that's what happens when you combine them both long term, as long as you keep doing the SEO. And then obviously, at some point, you can also start increasing your Google Ads budget as well. So this line could even theoretically go steeper up that way if you increase the Google Ads budget, which you'll probably have some money to do once this is actually growing. So I just wanted to outline this concept because I don't think most people realize that that's actually what happens when you combine these two together, and they work really, really well together. I've done it for a lot of businesses now, and it actually works really well because of exactly the concept I explained. So hope this makes sense and hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below and I will answer them. Otherwise, if you'd like me to coach you on how to do SEO and Google Ads for only $49 a month, go to learndominatemarketing.com. And if you'd like us to handle your Google Ads or SEO for your business, go to dominatemarketing.io, book a call with us there. Catch you on the next one.